Denise. Denise. It's Denise. It's Denise. It's Denise. Denise. It's a podcast party. It's a podcast party. It's a podcast party.
I gotta say, I feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. Well, hello there, everybody. Merry Christmas. It is Denise Salcedo. Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It is Christmas Day, and we kind of have more than I was expecting to talk about on today's show. I kind of thought that I was going to hop in, recap a little bit about what happened on Smackdown, talk about how good Hook was going to be on Rampage, and I kind of thought that that was pretty much it. That's kind of all that I was expecting here for tonight. I did not read any spoilers on Smackdown. I did not read any spoilers on Rampage, so I was very surprised with the ending of AEW Rampage. So I was going to kick off the show reviewing Smackdown, but I'm going to go ahead and review that after we talk about Rampage, because turns out that there's a lot more we're going to be getting into here today with all of that. Now, before we get started, before we get into all the wrestling conversation, I first of all want to thank you if you have joined this stream, especially if you're watching live. I want to thank you so much, man, because I had no idea. I was like, who's going to come on to today's show? Everybody's going to be celebrating Christmas. So if you guys came on here, I want to thank you guys so much. I celebrate on Christmas Eve, so I did absolutely nothing on Christmas Day other than be in this giraffe onesie, which I hope is cute and not lazy to be appearing in a giraffe onesie on this show. But guys, I'm working on Christmas Day, so all rules are out. They're all out. I get to do whatever I want. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into all of that and more. But first of all, I do hope you guys are having an amazing holiday, whether you guys celebrated today or tomorrow. Even if you don't celebrate, I hope you guys are having an amazing weekend. Whatever is going on in your lives, I hope it's wonderful. Also, before we get into the show, friendly reminder that this is a very interactive stream. Please send in your thoughts, especially with the thoughts that we're going to talk about today with Rampage. Send in your thoughts, send in your opinions, etc. And I will be reading some of those as we go throughout the stream. Additionally, if you would like to send in a super chat, you are more than welcome to. All super chats, I get to keep all proceeds from super chats thanks to F4W Online, who lets me keep 100% of all super chat proceeds. Additionally, I get to read your comment, question, or statement on the air 100% guaranteed. So let's go ahead and jump into this show, everybody, because there's so much to talk about. Let's do this. All right. Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, Cameron Mumford, who kicks us off with a major super chat. Merry Christmas to me. Thank you so much to Cameron Mumford, who says, Merry Christmas. Just want to show some holiday love to the most awesome podcaster around. All haters bow down at her feet and acknowledge her. Both shows tonight were okay. There is plenty to talk about on both of them. Let's effing go. Yeah, I was expecting an easier show today, but looks like we got some work to do. Cameron, I appreciate you so much for sending in this massive super chat. Thank you so much for coming on to the stream. You were awesome. Let's get into, oh my God, there's so much going on, guys. I'm freaking out here, losing control of this stream already, and we're like barely 2 minutes in. Cadillac Carson sends in a super chat saying, Merry Christmas. Yay. No rules. No rules today, ladies and gentlemen. No rules. CT sends in a super chat saying, congrats on the HBK interview. Hollywood heartbreak. Enjoy today. Thanks for doing this. Dude, thanks so much. Also, before I move on to the next super chat, I did get to interview Shawn Michaels. That is up on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. And I have so much to say about that, but I, for right now, am just going to say that that was probably one of the coolest interviews that I have ever gotten to do. I was so thrilled and so honored when I got the opportunity to interview Shawn Michaels. And what makes this even cooler, so here's a little behind the scenes tidbits, guys. So when you interview talent, whether it's on AEW or WWE, like publicists set that up, right? Like they'll set it up. They'll be like, oh, you get to interview this person. But the talent also has to basically agree that they want to do the interview with you. And so when Shawn told me like that, and he told me why, and I won't share that because he shared that with me off air, but he did tell me why he decided to do the interview with me. And when he told me the reason, I was just kind of like, like fireworks exploding in my head and all of that. So to know that he said like the reason why he said yes to doing the interview with me was phenomenal. Please check out that interview. It was literally amazing to even get the chance. And I hope that someday I get to talk to him once again, but it was just freaking amazing to even have that opportunity in the first place. But anyways, that's just a little behind the scenes information on that. Reggie Simmons sends in a super chat saying, Merry Hookmas to all the hookers out there. If you are not a hooker, we cannot be friends. I hope nobody takes it. I hope nobody here that's not a wrestling fan just happens to be on this podcast, because then that would be a really weird thing to say. All right, guys, let's get into this. Let's get into AEW Rampage. Jesus Christ, so much to talk about, guys. Pro Wrestling Fan saw everyone saying Twitter was going to go crazy after Rampage, and I was like, I already know Cody is winning, so I just swiped to the spoiler and he was holding the title. Hope he loses at Battle of the Bouts. I did not know, guys. I avoided all spoilers heading into the show. I am really good at that. And I was not, I didn't expect this. Baby sends in a super chat saying, Cody ruined my Christmas. I don't hate Cody like I do MJF. It's fun to hate MJF. I just do not enjoy anything with Cody. And this is the truth, guys, that unfortunately, or I don't really know if fortunately, Cody does get a lot of heat. And anytime I tweet anything Cody related, immediately I see like a mixture of comments in terms of people who are there are people on Twitter that are sick of the Cody hate because they're fans of Cody. And then there are people on Twitter that are just like completely over Cody and don't like Cody. And he gets so much heat and everybody knows of the heat he gets. He's talked about this on media calls where he says he does not want to be a heel. He wants to be a babyface. Tony Khan was asked about this in the AEW Full Gear media scrum where they said they were fully aware that, Cody wasn't necessarily getting the reactions that they expected people to, that they might have expected. We have people trying to compare Cody Rhodes to John Cena and the heat that he would get. There's arguments amongst that. There is just a bunch of arguments, period, in regard to Cody Rhodes. So for me, FYI, like I like Cody. I'm a Cody Rhodes fan, but I completely get why people react the way that they do with Cody. Like, I get it. At first, I was kind of like, man, where's this all coming from? Where does this stem from? What exactly went wrong with Cody? And then I kept seeing it more and more. And so, unfortunately, like, I get why people react this way. And we are going to talk about this because I'm going to start off by saying this, but I think it was a bad decision to make Cody Rhodes TNT champion again. I do not think, and this is just my personal opinion based off of what we saw here tonight, I legitimately did not know he was going to win. I thought that I thought that this was going to be like a I thought this was going to be like a big victory for Sammy Guevara. And maybe it was my fault for not seeing that this was going to happen in hindsight. Because first of all, and let's just talk about it right now, guys. Normally I go in order of the show and things that happen, but I might as well just talk about the Cody Rhodes now. So we're starting with Cody Rhodes. No rules. Let's get into this. So when I saw that they were going to do Sammy Guevara versus Cody Rhodes, I thought to myself, why exactly are they doing Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara? Like, this kind of doesn't necessarily make total sense. It kind of just felt like it came out of the blue. But I thought, all right, you know what? Cool, it's going to be a special episode. It's going to be, for Christmas. All right, maybe they want to give Sammy a really good, victory. I just was not expecting Sammy to lose the bout whatsoever. Like, it was not in my radar. We got a super chat from Brandon Rosen who says, it's official. Cody Rhodes is now the new John Cena. We got it. Let's go, Cody. Cody sucks chance from the crowd. See, here's the thing, though, guys. I do not think that I do not think, and this is my opinion, I do not think that Cody Rhodes and John Cena are getting the same type of heat. I don't think you can compare the heat that Cody Rhodes is getting to the heat that John Cena is getting, because one of the things, like, Cody Rhodes right now, one of the major differences is that John Cena was not booked for the adults during that time to really be big John Cena fans. He was catered more to kids. Like, he was booked more for kids. He was over as hell with the kids, making money with all of that and doing well on that end. And it was the adults who kind of like didn't hate him. He was the company favorite. They were pushing him. He was getting over with the kids. But you got Cody Rhodes on the other hand. Cody Rhodes is not like getting over with kids like the way John Cena was. So for me, I don't feel like you can compare the John Cena hate that he was getting to the Cody Rhodes hate that he's getting. I think it's two different types of like heat, two different types of levels of hates from the fans. If you guys agree with that or disagree with that, please let me know how you see it. But personally, I do not correlate the Cody Rhodes hate as the same as the John Cena hate. I just don't see it. I think John Cena, the way that he was hated, I think that's I don't think that there's going to be people that get that the way that he was getting it. I just think it was at another level, and it was for different reasons. Leonard Aarons III sends in a super chat saying tonight's final outcome will make more sense when Hook chokes him out to become TNT champion next year. Remember this comment. Hey, man. Hey, look, right now, Hook is kind of like the future, man. He's the one I think that's getting wrestling fans excited that, hey, this is going to be a big star in the making. I mean, he's already, you can argue he's already a star because he's definitely gotten over with the audience. I mean, people are literally chanting his name. We freaking have hashtag Hook miss. Hook is getting over. Now, if this were to happen, I don't think people would be upset. So bookmark this comment, screen capture, whatever you need to do. Thank you so much to Leonard Aarons III for sending in that super chat as well. We got another super chat from Jamie Guillen who says, love Cody. Didn't want him to turn heel by beating Sammy. Was a bad decision and made Sammy look bad. All right, so let's break this down. Let's talk about what happened. Let's talk about some reactions. Let's get into all of this because I have a feeling people here are going to be torn on how they feel about this. At least, again, I think so. All right, so we got Cody versus Sammy for the TNT Championship. This was Sammy's fifth defense as TNT champion. He's had some pretty good matches. I remember coming onto the show. I remember tweeting like, man, Sammy Guevara, he's had such a hot start to his TNT championship run. This is going pretty good. Really excited to see how this goes. And I was expecting it to go a lot longer. And here was the other thing. I was expecting it to go a lot longer, and I was also predicting, this was my prediction, because a lot of the things that they were having Sammy Guevara do as TNT champion was doing the open challenge. Now, this is something we've seen with the TNT championship a lot. So I thought, okay, at some point, somebody, because you had a lot of people debuting. For example, you had, Jay Lethal debuting and challenging for the TNT championship. You had, you had people basically coming in and debuting and challenging for the bout. So I thought, okay, at some point, somebody that is making a debut that challenges for the TNT championship in their debut is going to eventually have to win, right? I thought that was the story that we were eventually going to be leading up to. So I even thought to myself, all right, what's a way, who would be somebody that could essentially come in, make a debut in AEW, challenge for the AEW TNT championship against Sammy Guevara, and who could be the person that could win and essentially the crowd would be happy with, because Sammy Guevara is a fan favorite in AEW. And I thought my prediction, it may be a little wild and it's definitely probably not going to happen now, or who knows, I don't know. My prediction was if Johnny Gargano were to go to AEW, I thought that he would have been one of those people that, hey, he comes in, he challenges for the TNT championship in his debut, wins the bout, finally someone wins. That's the way that I thought that they were going to go about things with this. So I was not expecting, again, Sammy Guevara to actually win. We got a super chat from Hanzi who says, do you think the Tiger Driver is going to be Cody's version of the pedigree when he uses it for proverbial bearing of talent to rile up the internet? All right, first and foremost, guys, I'm a big Triple H mark, so I ain't even going to go there. But I do not know. We'll talk about that because once again, the Tiger Driver is how he ended up winning this match. Thank you so much to Hanzi for sending in that super chat. We got another super chat from Ryan Lambert who says, Feliz Hookmas. 2021 has been amazing for you, Denise. I can't wait for all the snazziness you'll be doing in 2022. God, I hope so. I really, really hope so. I pray every single year for a good year. Thank you so much to Ryan Lambert for this very kind super chat. All right, so here we go. Let's go back into this conversation with Sammy and Cody. All right, so the match kicks off, guys, and Cody is getting massive, like he's being booed the second he comes out. During this match, we're getting, the Cody sucks chants, and I know people were saying that he was getting the let's go Cody sucks chants. I didn't even hear the let's go Cody. I thought they were saying Sammy. I couldn't even make out that they were saying Cody. Why? Because the Cody sucks chants were just so much more grander than all the other chants. And so for me, I was like, okay, it's plain as day. Cody sucks chants, that's what we're getting. And this crowd made it very clear that they were going to be booing the hell out of Cody Rhodes. All right, so we get into this match. The match itself was, pretty decent. I didn't think it was like a blow-away match by any means. It was a decent match, had a nice little start. We saw, a nice springboard stunner from Sammy Guevara. We see a lot of Sammy's, the way that he normally kicks off matches. He's got, he does the leapfrog, he does the back elbow. We see a lot of that different stuff. We see Cody hit the crossroads. We see Cody throw Sammy into the crowd. We see Sammy hit the GTH. He gets a near fall. And at this point, when he went for the GTH and got the near fall, at this point, the crowd is really, really into this match. We're starting to get this is awesome chants. Crowd's really getting into it. People are feeling pretty hyped. Sammy goes for the 630. He hits it. Cody's knees get up. And at this point, I'm still thinking Sammy's going to win. Like a fool. Like a damn fool. I am still thinking that Sammy is going to win this match. Finally, Cody hits the Tiger Driver, gets the win, defeats Sammy Guevara, and I was stunned, okay? I was stunned, and I thought, why the hell did they do this? Now, keep in mind, I am a Cody Rhodes fan. I am a fan of Cody Rhodes, and even I didn't think that it was a good idea to have Cody Rhodes win the TNT Championship. It makes no sense, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry that I'm getting riled up here, but it makes no sense. This totally kills Sammy Guevara's momentum. Literally, the dude was in his 5th freaking title defense. To me, it kills Sammy Guevara's momentum. It's also kind of really bad timing too. And this is what I mean by that. First of all, don't, how do I word this? Okay, I'm on Twitter. I see what's going on with Sammy and, the whole story, the whole controversy surrounding Sammy Guevara right now. So I almost feel like it was just kind of bad timing to take the belt off of him after all of the Twitter controversy that went down. Now, this obviously has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that, right? But there are going to be people out there that, maybe there's going to be people out there that are going to associate and correlate the two things. They're going to correlate that with Sammy losing the title. And obviously that's not the case, but there are still going to be people out there that do that make that correlation. So because of that, I just thought, ooh, this is bad timing for this. Like, this is not good timing whatsoever. So you have killing Sammy's momentum. You have the bad timing on this. And then just the whole thing of, again, I'm a Cody Rhodes fan, but we've seen it, been there, done that. This is rinse and repeat. Cody did a good job of putting over Brody Lee, putting over Darby Allin with the TNT Championship. But again, guys, it is rinse and repeat. This really, I think, halts some of the momentum that Sammy Guevara was really just starting to build up, because Sammy, for the longest time, was doing so much with the Inner Circle. All of that was hot stuff. But now, this was officially his first, championship run, getting, a singles, more focus as a singles wrestler. And so for me, it just kind of felt like, oh shoot, this is done. Like someone pulled the plug out. Someone pulled the plug on this. So again, I'm a Cody Rhodes fan, but I do not think that it was the right idea to have him win the TNT Championship. And I really just, that's that, guys. Please send in your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Please send in your opinions. Even if you have a difference of opinion, here on this show, we go through everybody's opinions. All right, so send them in. Let's see what the people are saying. We got a super chat from AJ Hall, who says Brody King debuts. And Brody King debuts and beats Cody. Also love watching you after AEW shows. Thank you so much, AJ. If Brody King were to debut and beat Cody Rhodes, that would be interesting. And that also kind of falls in line with what I thought was going to happen, but with Sammy Guevara and Johnny Gargano. So that could possibly be a possibility. But again, as of this moment, I do not know. Thank you so much, AJ Hall, for sending in a super chat and your opinion as well in your prediction. We got one from Flamethrower Fluff Salisbury, who says, Merry Christmas. I think the fans turned on Cody because we had to watch Rhodes to the top. I don't think so, because the turn happened a lot before that. I think a lot of what probably hurt Cody is just like, there was a lot of little things that I think kind of led up to this. And I think people have different reasonings for this. Thank you so much to Flamethrower for sending in this super chat. We got another one from Outsider Kid 93, who says, anyone mad at this clearly doesn't get it. I believe this is setting up a heel turn for Cody. Watch what they do with Cody. He is getting massive heat. I really hope that they do turn Cody officially as a heel. Obviously, a lot of fans can already see him as a heel, but I hope that they do it like an official heel turn, because if they do, it's going to be very effective, okay? Because you think of some of the top heels in AEW, obviously one of the first ones that comes to mind is MJF, but MJF is a different type of heel. Like MJF, he could be like this cocky, douchebag on the show, but you kind of love the guy too. Like you love to hate him, and you also love the guy because, oh, he's such a jerk, and look at the things that he says, but he makes me laugh, but he's such a jerk. So it's a totally different type of heat, I think, from the heat that Cody Rhodes has. So two totally different things, right? But I do just, because I listen to these media calls, and because I'm, hearing what is being said on these calls, every time I think that they're going to officially do this with Cody Rhodes, I remember him going out there in these media calls and basically saying, no, I'm going to be a babyface. Like, I'm not going to do the heel thing. No. So that's always, stuck in my head. But I think if they were to officially do it, I think it would be very, very effective. And I think that that's what they should do. I think that they should utilize this as like, Jesus, he really pissed off the fans by winning the belt, essentially ending Sammy's run, having, this moment again. And I think you can use it to the advantage of pushing him as a massive heel. So hopefully that's what they do, because I do think that would benefit him and benefit pretty much everything all around. We got another super chat from Cadillac Carson, who says, I will give AEW the benefit of the doubt regarding putting the title on Cody. I got to believe there's a plan here somewhere. And that's the thing too, guys, is that when you have so AEW has a really good, or you can say a really, really strong relationship with their fan base. Every time there's some creative decisions that happen on the show that some of the fans don't agree with, the number one thing that I always get is, you know what? I trust that they're going to go and make the right decision. I trust that they're going to, that they're going to make the right decision, and this is not going to be a flop. And that's the good thing about AEW. That's the one thing that I feel like we definitely have to put over, because they don't make their fans upset in that way. If maybe we're not happy about Cody winning the TNT championship, all right, we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, there's a game plan here. What the game plan is, I don't know. And that's the good thing. That's the one thing that AEW definitely needs to keep strong. They've been keeping it strong so far. They need to keep it strong. And it's always kind of having always having the fans trust in them. That's what they want. The fans want to be able to know that they trust the product, that they trust the company, and therefore, build loyalty. Thank you so much to Kettle Carson for sending in that super chat. We got another one from Killer Mike 375. It says, Merry Christmas, Denise. Hope you had a good one. Nuclear heat for Cody. Absolutely love it for Cody heel turn. Now, let's just hope he doesn't make a nuclear heat t-shirt. If you guys got the joke, you got the joke. If you didn't get the joke, you didn't get the joke. Thank you so much, Killer Mike 375, for sending in that super chat. All right, guys. Let's see if we have any other. Comments, or how do you guys feel? Let's get some thoughts. Are you mad that Cody's champion? Do you feel this hurts Sammy Guevara? What do you want to see happen? Let's get some thoughts in here, guys. This is a super chat. Thank you so much. This one's from Malambano Mubita, who says Sammy's title reign has been pretty bland. He needs more character work, in my opinion. Wrestling ability isn't enough alone. Well, it depends. So it depends on the person. Like, I'm a Sammy fan, guys. I've always liked Sammy. I've always been a fan of Sammy's, even before he was in AEW. So personally, I've always been there, but I have seen this criticism of him from other people. Not from me, because I do like Sammy Guevara, and I think he's a lot of fun. Personally, that's why I'm a fan, because I think he's a fun person to watch. And the matches that we have seen of his, especially as TNT champion, and also the work that he did on Inner Circle, for me, that's kind of how I basically became an even bigger Sammy Guevara fan. But thank you so much to Malambano for sending in this super chat. Thank you for sending in your thoughts and opinions here. And let's get through some really ones. This one's from Our Queen, who says they're not really mad, but it does hurt Sammy's momentum. We got a comment from Al Profe Jr. 88, who says Sammy losing the title is character development. I don't think so. If he was losing the title to maybe somebody else, I just don't think that this was to develop his character. I don't see it that way. No, I don't see it that way. This is from Generation Lost 92, who says, Cody doesn't feel genuine to me, which is what turns me off from him. IDK. We got a comment from Channel 17, who says, Cody is John Cena. Boo him if he hates him, but Cody is necessary. Love the finish. So we got some Cody fans in here. Cool. This one's from Al Fermentado, who says, I think that Cody is bringing back the open challenge for all free agents in the markets right now. Well, we were already having the open challenge with or without Cody. We were already getting these open challenges and having people coming into the company. We were already seeing that. So it was already happening here. Let's see what else we got here. Shano 7. Oh, wait, I think. Let's see what. Did I read that one? Okay. This one is from Mr. Tambourine Man, who says, yeah, because if you notice, Sammy always seems like he's trying to prove himself. This gives him more of a chip on his shoulder. Okay, so Mr. Tambourine Man agrees with the comment that was said earlier about more character development for Sammy and basically always having a chip on his shoulder. Okay, so we got somebody basically talking about that here. This one is from Frank, who says, the wrong person won. It's awfully funny that out of nowhere, Cody gets a title shot so close to AEW moving to TBS. Mega Monkey Chunk says there was absolutely no build. There was no story to this. I don't see how this helps Sammy's character. I'm more along this line of thinking for this one. Phantom FTW says TNT title was never more interesting than when Cody had it and brought us Starks and Kingston and with the current crop of free agents. Can you believe it? Jordan says, oh God, I missed it. What did Hook do? Can you believe it that I thought I was going to come on here and talk about Hook for the majority of this time. I didn't know that I was going to be talking about this. Toy Bandit says, I do appreciate Cody. He took the weapon, set himself on fire, did a backflip off a cage. Okay, I shouldn't have. Sorry. I did not realize you were going to go that way. See, guys, this is not good. This is not good. Not good. No. Okay. BTW, guys, the personal life stuff, let's not bring that up here. Only about the on-camera stuff that we are seeing, okay? Only the on-camera stuff. And let's see if we got any other interesting comments. This one is from Pro Wrestling Fan, who says, Sammy is the pillar that doesn't have a clear direction like MJF, Darby, and Jungle Boy. If not being with Inner Circle and should have done redemption for Sammy losing to Cody on the first Dynamite. See, I don't necessarily completely agree with this because I think that MJF and Darby and Jungle Boy have more, their path feels to me a lot stronger and a lot more clearer. I would have maybe perhaps agreed with this a while back, but I don't know. I see MJF and Darby and Jungle Boy on a different path right now than Sammy's. I don't really feel like they're all completely, totally aligned. Like Sammy's still going to be like, one of the top guys, but I just see MJF and Darby and Jungle Boy kind of going into a different level, maybe perhaps even a higher level, like a higher level for sure, actually. Yeah. 554K sends in a super chat saying, good match, but I'm not sure why they had Cody win unless they think the fans will have to cheer him over Lambert's team, but that won't work in my opinion. Well, we did have that line too from Dan Lambert this past week where he was talking about basically saying, basically throwing a shot at Cody as well during that whole promo that he did. Thank you so much to 554K for sending in this super chat. Well, guys, we just have a whole mixture of difference of opinions here on this. I love it. We got some people for this, some people against it. Personally, I'm a fan of this. It gets people talking. It gets people riled up, and I am here for this. All right. Jesus. Let's get one more comment in, and then we're going to go ahead and hop into something else. This one is from Ken Mathis. It says, Cody winning is fine. Fans booing him isn't a problem because he is in line with his character. He's not playing a babyface. He's playing an out-of-touch wrestler who thinks he's a babyface. I don't know, man. If that's what you think he's playing, all right, but I'm not too sure, guys. Jonathan Rendon says the TNT title doesn't need a feud for the title as it's the workhorse title. If it's an open challenge, it doesn't need a story. Wrong. I think everything needs a story. A story is what gets people interested and invested into what you're watching. Obviously, on top of the great wrestling, you need to have the great wrestling, but I still think that there needs to be a story there. There needs to be a story. All right, guys, let's move on. What a night. I am sweating bullets in this outfit. Wasn't expecting any of this to go down, but you know what? I made a decision and here we are. All right. Before I move on, BTW, friendly reminder, guys, if you have not checked out the show before and this is your first time, thank you guys so much for giving me a chance. I really do thank you and appreciate you. One of my favorite things to do on this show is obviously talk about pro wrestling because that's what this show is about. But I love to communicate with everybody, interact with everybody, really get different opinions in here. I think that's what makes a show really good is when people come in here, they're honest and they talk about it because at the end of the day, we're watching pro wrestling and it is subjective entertainment. So however you feel, how you feel. Let's talk about it. I am live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Tuesdays, I'm live to talk about NXT 2.0. Wednesdays, I am here for my most popular show of the week, which is AEW Dynamite coverage. And then Fridays, I am here normally talking about Smackdown and Rampage. But now let's go ahead and talk about some of the other occurrences that occurred on the show. And let's get into Jungle Boy versus Isaiah Cassidy. This is how the show opened up, and this was a pretty solid opening match. It was very fun. I gotta give some credit though to Isaiah Cassidy because on Rampage and Dynamite, we don't very often get to see Isaiah Cassidy, in these singles matches. You guys know I don't always get the opportunity to watch AEW Dark. I rarely get to see AEW Dark because I do have to watch so many other millions of shows. But so for me, like watching this match and watching Isaiah Cassidy, stand alone by himself in this match with Jungle Boy, I was so impressed by him. Like I was already impressed with him, in a tag team, but as a singles competitor, I kind of felt like this was a really nice way to kind of highlight him and show what he can do. I really love that awesome tornado that he did to Jungle Boy. Really pretty, really nice, good execution on the Poison Rana as well. Shout out to Jungle Boy and his awesome German suplexes that he hit during this match. And then Jungle Boy wins with the snare trap. I like this. Good win for Jungle Boy, and it also made Isaiah Cassidy, shine a little brighter. Good stuff here. Let's see if you got any comments on Jungle Boy or Isaiah Cassidy. Let's see what we got here. This one's from Mega Monkey Chunk, who says, big fan of Jungle Boy. Good, solid match. Completely agree. Good stuff, guys. Someone wants to know if this is a onesie. Yes, and I'm sweating bullets in it, guys. I'm losing like 5,000 pounds doing the stream right now because I got 3 lights on me. I got this onesie. I got a t-shirt under and shorts, and I'm dying. I'm slowly dying right now. I should not have. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to have to take this off for a second. I don't usually look this terrible on these shows. Pardon me, everybody. All right, let's continue on. Let's get into Miro. So Miro is essentially, still doing these promos that I love very, very much because they're kind of freaking hilarious. Like, they're not meant to be hilarious. He's not hitting us with no haha cheesy lines or anything like that. But he's coming in here and he's cutting these promos and talking about how, how dare you get between the Redeemer and his hot wife. I will return without any flaws whatsoever. And you quote, redemption doesn't come with a smile. It comes with a price. And I like the way that they shot these promos that we've been seeing. It's so simple, just a white screen, different, shots and, close-up shots, far away shots of Miro. I love it. It is good stuff. I'm a fan. Let's see if we got any comments on this. M. Durant says Denise needs to take a commercial break. I need a picture-in-picture, ladies and gentlemen. A picture-in-picture. Let's see what else we got here. Just Danny says Miro feuding with God. From the looks of it, he hasn't necessarily said like, hey, this is, addressed to so-and-so. So my assumption is that it is with God. He's upset. He blames God essentially for his, losing the TNT title. I don't know, man. I don't know. Andrew Cook says Miro's videos are great. How much longer do we have to wait to see him destroy people? Even when he's destroying people, I don't want them to stop doing the promos. Like, I like the promos. Like, I want them to kind of keep going on for a little bit longer because they are good stuff, like I said here. And we got a comment from Shano17 who says the Redeemer is the most underrated character in wrestling. As Technology says, I love Miro's feud with God. The promos are funny and intimidating at the same time. Yeah, I agree. And also, so someone says it's like filming a movie. It's interesting. Okay, let's just leave it at that. All right, guys, let's get into this because we got to talk about Hook because after all, we are here celebrating Hookmas, ladies and gentlemen. And if you are a hooker, please make sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to F4W Online. We are on our way to 100,000 subscribers. You're already here on the channel. Please make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We got a super chat from Amir F who says, God sent Miro to that white space and he's trying to get out. Is that what they're doing? Damn, did I not get that? Okay, sorry. Glass just shattered in my head right now. Thank you so much to Amir F for sending in this super chat. All right, guys, let's get into this. Let's talk about Hook. Let's be real. That's what we're all here for. That's what you all came in for. You're like, what is going on with Hook? All right. Hook versus Bear Bronson, his second match here on AEW. He's been, Jesus Christ. If I could have, literally everybody here watching this show, picture your perfect life. Your perfect life. Let's say you're pursuing a career in wrestling. You want to be a wrestler. Damn, if I want to have a debut like Hook, I want to have momentum and buzz like Hook. This kid came in and literally was already a fan favorite before even doing one little move, anything. Already a fan favorite. Why? Because they did a pretty good job at just kind of, they're not trying to shove him down our throats. And I think that's why it's working. They're letting him be himself. He's just a kid, man. He's out there, with his dad and, friends and, with Team Taz, and he's eating potato chips. He's got a hoodie on. He's just super chill. I think that people could relate to Hook. People could relate to Hook. There you go. Even me. I can relate to Hook. Everybody can relate to Hook. So then the kid comes out and he's pretty damn impressive, already showing, a whole amount of skill. He's got an aura. He's got charisma. The crowd was getting behind him, chanting Hook, 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 and all of that. And then on top of that, Pro Wrestling Tees announces that he essentially pushes down CM Punk, pushes him down to number 2 on the best sellers of the week. And Hook is number 1 with a t-shirt that legitimately just says Hook. All right. I'm sorry, but I want to have a year that not even a year, one show that fantastic as Hook did. So anyways, we go into this match with Hook and Bear Bronson. And first of all, a really, really good opponent with Bear Bronson, because having Hook in matches with guys like Bear Bronson is going to be really exciting to see. And today was a perfect example of that. So before we break down the match, we got the announcement that the match was next and people were chanting Hook. The guy was over just with the announcement of this match. So he comes in, he gets ready, does this match. Really quickly, guys, he takes down Bear Bronson, and Bear Bronson is a big guy, and immediately he gets a pop. Now, throughout this entire match, one of the things that you'll notice is that every single time that Hook got any sort of offense, the crowd popped, the crowd reacted, the crowd was into it. Like, he could throw one little punch or he could blink, Jesus, and people were like, yeah, like, this is good stuff, like, let's go Hook. And anytime Bear Bronson got any sort of offense on Hook, the fans were obviously, upset about it. So just the fact that people are that invested is a really, really good sign on all of this. So I really like that. One of the things that I really liked that he was working with Bear Bronson was because when he's using, the judo and he's incorporating that into the wrestling, it's really cool to see, because obviously, the whole point there is to use your opponent's size to your advantage and to their disadvantage. So we got to see that essentially implemented into this match, which is one of the things that I really enjoyed. Then we also had Hook essentially no-sell a sit-down driver from Bear Bronson. That was pretty awesome too, and it kind of surprised me out of nowhere, especially the camera angle, because you had the focus was on Bear, and then all of a sudden you just see Hook come up from behind. That was a really awesome moment, really kind of added a lot to him. He had a really, Hook then hits a clothesline. Then he hits a really, really pretty Northern Light suplex that looks super smooth. And instantaneously, I put out there on Twitter, I'm like, dude, Hook literally inherited the suplexes, inherited great suplexes like his father. He does the head and arm Taz plex on Bear. Looks really nice. Then he does the cross faces that Taz would normally do when he then hits the red rum. So he hits that, ends up getting the win. Really nice little victory. I think what they're doing with Hook is keeping things simple but effective. They're not overthinking it. They're not overdoing it, and they're letting him get over just by being himself. He was also laying it in a lot during this match, which, obviously adds to Hook. And also, dude, at the end of the day, if you got an aura, you cannot teach aura. You cannot teach having an aura. You cannot teach having a personality. You cannot teach having charisma. At the end of the day, the kid's got it. Send your thoughts in. What did you think about Hook versus Bear Bronson? Let's see what people are saying. All right, guys, here we go. Let's see what we got. If we got any other, we got so many different thoughts here, but I want to make sure I get these in. BTW guys, if you're sending in your thoughts and you're like, damn it, Denise hasn't read it, please, if you want, send in a super chat. If you're able to, you are more than welcome to. F4W Online does allow me to keep 100% of all proceeds from super chats. So they do help me out a whole lot. And you do get your comment, question, or statement read on the air, 100% guaranteed. All right, so let's see what we got here. This one is from, Andrew Cook, who says, it was impressive seeing Hook handle a big man so well. His technique is so down. He makes it look easy, and he throws suplexes like a true son of Taz. Awesome. Really good. Nice little summary there. I completely agree with all of that too. And let's go through a couple more comments here. This one is from Major Blood, who says, Hook started out as a meme, but he somehow got really over with the crowd. Despite being a hell, the crowd loves him. Yeah, the crowd loves him, which is good, dude. At the end of the day, if you can manage to get the crowd behind you, that's just, having an it factor. Not a lot of people can do that, guys. Not a lot of people can do that. And let's go through a couple of comments. This one's from Devil Within, who says, Taz and Kurt Angle were the king of suplexes. Got to add Hook to the list now. Jonathan Redmond says, Hookmania is running wild, and I'm here for it. Andrew Cook says, finally, someone is making hooker to be a positive word. Jesus. I love this, guys. Martin Dordan says, is Hook some kind of god? Seriously. Brian Pugo says, Hook's punches are lit. Martin Dordan points out that Hook is still trending on the entire state. Is he really? I did not see that. Jesus Christ, I want to be as over as Hook. Damn. All right, let's go through. All right, let's go ahead and move on. All right, guys, so there you go. That was Hook versus Bear Bronson for tonight. Before we move on to our next topic, friendly reminder, guys, if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm at _ Denise Salcedo. I'm super active, kind of addicted to the app. If you're addicted to, let's be addicted together on Twitter. Make sure to follow me at _ Denise Salcedo. I'm so close to hitting 50,000 subscribers. I'm literally almost there. It's my goal to hit 50K by 2022, and I don't know if I'm going to make it. But let's get into Layla Hirsch versus Chris Statlander. So I just kind of want to start off by saying that Layla Hirsch and Chris Statlander, I honestly feel, again, I don't know if underrated is the right word to use, but I really just think that these are two talents that are, I think they deserve like more attention because they are really, really good. And I've said this a lot about Chris Statlander, and I was saying this a lot more when we were seeing Layla be featured on Dynamite and Rampage, but we don't get to see Layla very often. We see her sporadically. Chris, ever since she's returned, we've seen her, a little bit more, but both of them are, I'm a fan of both of them is what I'm trying to get at here. And I think that they did a really good match. I actually ended up liking this match. I liked Layla Hirsch versus Chris Statlander even more than Jungle Boy and Isaiah Cassidy. Like, that should kind of tell you how much I like this match because I really felt that they had really nice, they brought so much aggression to this match, and we kind of saw different things from both of them that really complemented the entire match very nicely. Like, we see one of the things that we've been seeing from Chris Statlander is her power, is her strength. And that's what I really like when she did that vertical suplex. I mean, that is not an easy thing to do, okay? It really showcases her strength. And even when she had that match with Britt Baker, that was one of the things that for me was like the major selling point of Chris Statlander is the strength that she brings to her matches. We had a nice little moment where Hirsch hits a moonsault on Chris Statlander. She gets her with a knee strike, goes for the pin, but it ends up being a near fall. Then they have like a little, slap battle where they're just kind of slapping each other a little bit. That was nice. I thought the match was over when Chris Statlander hit the Blue Thunder Bomb. I thought the match was over then, but we ended up getting a interesting finish where we saw Chris Statlander get her into like a crab with the arm being hooked. I don't even know what to call it, but I thought it was a phenomenal win for Chris Statlander and a good showcase for both women. So I was a fan of this, and I hope we get to see it again. I think we might be seeing it again because Layla did refuse to shake Chris Statlander's hand. I like that. They're giving her, more of an edge. I was a fan of this. 2 thumbs up. Let's see what we got here. Any thoughts on Chris Statlander versus Layla Hirsch? Send them in here. Thank you. Mega Monkey Chunk says they called it a spider crab. Thank you. I did not notice that, so thank you for sending that in here. M. Durrett also puts over the sick finisher by Statlander. Really good. This is a comment from R. Riggs who says, I know Layla is still fairly green, but I think she has a very high ceiling. I think both of them could be huge within 3 years. And so let's get some more comments in here. This one is from Leonard, who says, Chris, Taya, Rosa could easily be penned in to dethrone Britt next year. Layla's got a lot of potential, and I'm excited about what she can do in the coming years. I would say keep putting her in there because I feel like she tends to be forgotten about when you think about, people in the women's division that you're like excited about. I feel like people tend to, forget about Layla Hirsch sometimes, but when she comes in here, she kind of reminds you like why you should be a fan of her. So that's, that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Well, maybe not a great thing. It could be better because you don't want to be forgotten about. So let me adjust that thought really quickly. All right, guys, let's get into, oh, damn. That was it. That was all of Rampage. We talked about it all. Since I obviously talked about Cody and Sammy first of all. All right, so that was Rampage. Let's get into WWE Smackdown, Christmas Eve stuff. We're going to highlight some of the main stuff that happened. A pretty easy run through here, guys, because it was a pretty easy show. It was the Christmas Eve show. I watched it today. Normally, I watch SmackDown live, and today, obviously, last night I didn't because I was celebrating with my family. So today I watched on Hulu. Oh my God, what a difference, guys. No commercials, just watching the show. And I couldn't even fast forward. So I had to watch like everything. They didn't do very many like video replays. They only did like, I think like 2 video replays. So they didn't even overdo it. Oh, it was such a breezy watch. I enjoyed the show. It was a nice little decent show. It basically kicked off with an interview with Paul Heyman and Kayla Braxton. And this was interesting. Like, I know that they've already done this before with Paul Heyman. I know he had already done that. He's already done like the serious sit down interviews when they were doing this Brock Roman storyline before. So we are kind of getting it again, but I still liked it because, he's addressing Roman Reigns essentially firing him. And I like that because my prediction is obviously that this is going to be a swerve, that they're just trying to fool Brock Lesnar, and that Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman are essentially working together, even though they're acting like they're not. I still think that it's going to be a swerve on Brock Lesnar. That's my prediction. I feel that that's kind of an obvious, they're making it a little bit obvious. So if they swerve me, I will be surprised by that. But I like that they kicked off the show like this because it felt important. I like that they addressed the events that occurred the week prior because it was a big deal at the end of the day for Roman Reigns to essentially fire Paul Heyman and, take him out. And Paul Heyman basically says, like, he humiliated me in front of everybody. And this is the price that I paid for telling the truth. And we all know that Paul Heyman and Kayla Braxton have a really nice repertoire. So having them, engage together in this was pretty fun as well. Paul Heyman then notes that his career is slightly over, that he's not going to go over to NXT and cherry pick any talent. So that's kind of how this ends up basically going. And this is pretty much the only thing that we get with like Roman and Brock for like the rest of the show. We have a pretty entertaining match between Charlotte Flair and Toni Storm for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Dude, it felt so nice, so fresh to see Charlotte Flair in a match with somebody that I haven't seen her wrestle a zillion times. It felt so good to see her wrestle somebody that can go like Toni Storm and somebody that could lay it in just like Toni Storm, somebody that can hang in there with Charlotte Flair. I love this. They started off with a lockup, which I liked because it was an intense one and it was very, very well done. There was a moment when Charlotte Flair is literally smashing Toni's face while she has her in like a figure 4 headlock position and is just smashing her face like she's not even human. Toni then gets her with some nice headbutts. So a lot of aggressive action throughout this entire thing. Toni Storm's basically showing some really good facial expressions throughout this match. And then we see Charlotte Flair lock in the figure 8, also slapping Toni during this. Good stuff there. Then the finish is essentially, I know a lot of people are probably not going to be fond of the finish being essentially a roll-up, but I didn't hate it. And I didn't hate it in this match. I didn't hate it because I thought it was a pretty the way that they did it I thought was pretty nice because the match was good and the way that it was executed, back and forth, I thought it was a nice way to protect Toni Storm and kind of keep her a little bit strong without taking, without taking like a massive beating and then getting pinned 1, 2, 3, just like that. So I did like the way that they did the finish. Also, prior to the finish, I like that Charlotte Flair busted the Becky Lynch spot where she was using the ropes to her advantage to try to get that leverage, and the referee caught her. We've been seeing Becky Lynch get away with that a lot, and we also saw that in the Charlotte Flair-Becky Lynch match, so it was kind of nice to see that tie in and be brought into this match as well. I also want to put over Toni Storm because Toni Storm, one of the things that I think is really adding to her and really adding to her as a professional wrestler is that she does all the basics really, really well. She does it very well done, but she also doesn't take any shortcuts. She adds little things that make things more unique when she does it. For example, she literally did a bridge in the reverse roll up, where most people, if they know it's going to be a 2 count, they literally just lay there because they know it's going to be a 2 count. But Toni Storm added a little thing. Just doing the bridge added so much more, even though it was going to be a 2 count. So I do kind of want to give Toni Storm credit for that, because I kind of just felt that she adds, a lot of little stuff that elevate her matches and elevate what she does in the ring. And if you're in there with Charlotte Flair, yeah, you got to bring your A game. So I like Toni Storm, Charlotte Flair. I want to see it again. I think they have a pretty good thing there. Pretty good thing. Send in your thoughts, guys. How did you feel about Charlotte Flair, Toni Storm? Send in some thoughts. And obviously, Charlotte Flair retains. We didn't catch that. Want to throw that in there. All right, let's see what we got here. This is a comment from Cameron Mumford, who says Toni Storm could easily be the biggest babyface, not just in SmackDown, but all in WWE. But as usual, leave it to WWE to screw it up. Oh, wow, there goes a possible title match at day one, which should have happened. Look, I don't think this is going to be the end of Toni Storm and Charlotte Flair. I don't think they've screwed it up just yet, okay? There's still plenty of hope for Toni Storm. I'm not going to say that they've screwed it up, so I don't think so. Darth Steven 77 says this was a great match. Charlotte was great as always, and Toni Storm did really good. Let's see what we got here. Any other match here? Any other comments, excuse me, that I want to get into? All right, cool. I think we got most of that for this match here, but let's go ahead and jump into a couple of other things that we saw. We had a promo from Xia Li. Xia Li just basically says that she cuts a promo on Natalya, says she has known women like Natalya her entire life, says she won't fear her and that she will fight her because she is a protector. Shout out to Xia Li, by the way, who just like, I didn't know that she didn't know, any like English whatsoever when she first came to WWE. I had no idea that she did not know any English, and I would have never known that. Hearing this promo, her English is phenomenal, so I want to also give her some thumbs up and some kudos, because damn, that is a hard thing to do, to learn another language. And so for her, I want to give her a shout out, because I love what they are doing right now so far with the Xia Li character. So there you go. Shout out to Xia Li. Nice little promo that we had there that she cut on Natalya. And let's see what we got here. This one's from Joseph Boza, who says, I didn't know Xia spoke English. She's being booked better here than she was on NXT. Yeah, I didn't like I wasn't a fan of what they were doing on NXT with her. You guys know that if you listen to my NXT reviews, that was never really for me. I like much more what they are doing with her right now on SmackDown. So let's get into this. 12 days of Christmas gauntlet. So this essentially, the winner is going to go on to face Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship. This pretty much took up the majority of the show, and it was such an easy watch, though, because again, I watched on Hulu with no commercials. Oh, it was so breezy. It was just like continuous. I'm almost done with the entire show. I love this. All right. Well, I love that it didn't have commercial breaks. The gauntlet itself was generic, and it was the same formula that we always get in WWE gauntlet matches. You guys know, you got your babyface getting over for a bit, then he doesn't end up winning. Heel comes in at the end, ends up getting the win. That's pretty much what we saw here, a very generic gauntlet, but it was just improved a lot without commercials. So let's just kind of go through a little bit of what we saw in the gauntlet. It kicked off with Garza versus Mansoor. I thought it was funny that they made sure to throw in some shots of like gorgeous females looking at Angel Garza, because that's his whole character, that he's, this hot Latino. So I kind of thought that was pretty funny. But anyways, so Garza ends up pinning Mansoor with the wing after he does the wing clipper. I will say this, I think it made Mansoor kind of look like a little bit of a jobber, and they've been doing a little bit more with Mansoor. You could argue that he's a jobber, but he's not Drew Gulak is what I'm trying to get at here. So I did kind of think that the way they eliminated Mansoor was a little bit too fast, but whatever. We moved on from this. We then get Garza versus Eric. Eric came in a lot more aggressive, but again, Angel Garza wins with the wing clipper, and I'm thinking, nice. they're going to have Garza go all the way, or at least half of the way. Where are they going to go with this? I was very excited. And then we got Garza versus Shanky. Oh, bless his heart. Bless Shanky's heart. But he is not that great. Bless his heart, but this was not good. Not good. He came in, he hit a clothesline. Jesus, there was nothing there, guys. He ended up winning, but he's just a lesser impressive version of the Great Khali. And I love the Great Khali. I was always a big fan of the Great Khali. Don't ask me why. I was always a fan of the Great Khali. I just was. I love the guy. I just don't feel like, here's the difference though. Like Great Khali was impressive. Like you looked at him and you're just like, dude, that guy's huge. And Shanky's a huge guy too, but it's just different. I think that Great Khali was just like impressive to see. Shanky doesn't have that. So I didn't really feel like Shanky brought anything where I was like, okay, this is impressive to me. I didn't have that moment during this match. We had Ivar versus Shanky. So Shanky defeats Garza, so Garza's out. Shanky ends up going into this match with with Ivar. And Ivar gets the win very, very fast because I don't necessarily know how much Shanky can actually last. I think what we saw was probably the most that, I don't know, I'm assuming that's the longest he can go. I don't know. We then get Sheamus versus Ivar very quickly. Sheamus wins. We get Sheamus versus Drew Gulak. This was hilarious, actually, because as Drew Gulak is coming out, Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are building him up. They're making him seem like he's OMG. They're listing all of these skills that he has, and he has so much charisma and all of this, right? So Drew Gulak gets into the ring. Freaking Sheamus just hits him with a bro kick. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Just like that. I kind of thought that was hilarious because of the way that they built him up and then the way that he lost so quickly. Then we got Sheamus versus Cesaro. Two guys that are always going to go in there and kick some butt, but I've seen this a million times. Sheamus wins. Nothing else to add there. I didn't feel it was that believable because Sheamus, because of the battles that we've seen between Sheamus and Cesaro before, I didn't buy the way that this just ended so quickly, especially with Sheamus, who was already, well into his third match in the gauntlet, and Cesaro being so fresh. Anyways, after this, we got Sheamus versus Ricochet. This was a lot of fun. Ricochet basically hits all of his, aerial maneuvers that he likes to do. So they really put him over in his aerial ability. Excuse me. I wanted to say athletic ability, and I think I just messed it all up. But anyways, Ricochet does a nice moonsault. But unfortunately, I think Sheamus was out of position, and then he literally lands on the back of his head, which kind of looked a little bit painful, but it kind of also looked pretty cool. And he ends up getting the win, which I was surprised because I thought they were going to have Sheamus go all the way to the finals or win the actual tournament. So I wasn't essentially expecting Sheamus to lose, but Ricochet did get the win with the help of Cesaro. Then we got Ricochet versus Humberto, and I thought Humberto was going to win this because Sheamus comes in and hits Ricochet with a bro kick, and I thought, okay, so Humberto's just going to get the win right here and then. But he didn't end up happening like that. We ended up getting Ricochet winning this match and defeating Humberto. Then we got Ricochet versus Jinder Mahal. I was very surprised by how quickly they eliminated Jinder Mahal. This was a very, very fast match. Ricochet gets the win. Then we got Ricochet versus Sami Zayn, and this is the finals of the gauntlet. Sami ends up winning with the Helluva kick, but this was a nice little matchup. They kind of built it up to make it seem like Ricochet was going to win, but of course, Sami Zayn was going to win. We all saw it coming. So again, pretty much the exact same formula that we're used to seeing with these gauntlet matches. So Sami Zayn wins. Sami Zayn's going to get a title shot. Cool. Any thoughts on this, guys? Let's see what we get here. M. Durrett says Ricochet looked great, very underutilized. He's been underutilized for the longest time. I think we kind of all basically got that there. We already knew all of that. Mike New York says Veer still incoming. Yeah, we'll see. Find out. Tune in on Raw. Tune into Raw on Monday to find out if Veer is still coming. We'll see. Maj says Jinder had to go find Veer. My goodness. All right, guys. This one's from Matt Hensley, who says the gauntlet made for some great background noise yesterday, but I only really started paying attention around when they were like 5 people left. Not shocked Sammy won. Very meh overall. Yeah, it was a nice little story. All right. Let's get into this main event, and that's the last thing we're going over. Friendly reminder, guys, do not forget to give this video a like. If you enjoyed this show, please let people know. Tell your friends. Come back to the show. Again, I'm live on Tuesdays to chat NXT 2.0. I'm live Wednesdays to chat AEW Dynamite, and then I'm live Fridays to chat AEW Rampage and Smackdown. Main event time. We had Madcap Moss and the Usos versus New Day and Drew McIntyre. In a street fight, your I think they were calling it Miracle on 34th Street. There you go. They use cookies and Christmas trees and chairs. It was a fun little match, I guess. Corbin gets eggnog on his head, and the funniest part about that was the way that Pat McAfee laughed. That was the thing I popped for the most in this match. Pat McAfee laughing. So take that for what you will. Then we had Drew McIntyre essentially pour eggnog all over both Baron Corbin and Madcap Moss. Drew ends up getting the win for his team. They throw gifts, which was really nice to all the audience. That was really fun when they threw the gifts. That was very nice. That was a very nice way to end the show. But this was really just a fun little matchup, and we saw Drew get the win for his team. So that was pretty much all there was to that main event. But there you guys go. That was the SmackDown review. That was the AEW Rampage review for Christmas Day. Seriously, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the show. I legitimately had no idea. I thought I was gonna have like 2 people in the stream because I thought everybody's gonna be enjoying Christmas Day. Who's gonna come on and watch this post show? But you guys seriously blew me away by coming in and showing some support. I really, really thank you. Please, guys, head on over to youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. Check out that interview with Shawn Michaels. I am so thankful that I got that interview, and I hope to continue getting more interviews because I just really try to put out good stories and good conversations with wrestlers that I hope fans will enjoy. I try to do interviews that I know that I would enjoy listening to as a fan myself. So please go on over there, share it, retweet it, whatever you guys can, because the more views, the more hits, the more interactions those interview gets, the more opportunities I get to do even more interviews and, just kind of go from there. So please make sure you guys go give that some love, hit that like button, whatever you guys need to do, give it some love. Alrighty, other than that, thank you guys so much. I continue to wish you guys happy holidays. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Christmas and the rest of this weekend. Love you all. I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.